planet. The voyage begins.
Dobre utro. Good morning. Welcome to the Ontario Science Centre. Today we're premiering the Toronto premiere for the film A Beautiful Planet.
On Earth, we have everything we need to survive. Air to breathe and food and water to sustain life.
This film is about our Earth as we see it from the vantage point in space of the International Space Station. It's also about what is happening to our planet. That's why that viewpoint is so important, because only from 250 miles up can you see the changes that are happening to our Earth. Sometimes they are natural changes and sometimes they are man-made changes.
An incredible IMAX film done in cooperation with NASA, shot entirely from the International Space Station, showing some incredible vistas of Earth and see how beautiful our planet is and also how vulnerable.
A Beautiful Planet is our 7th film made in space, and all of them have had, within the topic of space, different focuses. The last one, the most recent one we made before this, was called Hubble 3D, and that was all about what the Hubble Space Telescope, how it has changed what we think about our universe and cosmos completely by what it has seen, and it featured the final repair of that telescope. This film is looking the other way, not out into the cosmos. It's looking actually at our Earth and focusing our attention on what we need to do to maintain it as a beautiful planet. I wanted to make this film because now is, as never before, the focus is really on the issues that are facing the planet, such as climate change and resource conservation, the need for it. Never before has such focus been universally around the world on those topics, and it's a good time to make a film about that subject, I thought. I especially wanted to reach young people, students, grade school students, to reach them with the message, not that we're bad people, but to inspire them with what a beautiful home we have in space and why it's so important to take care of it.
We have a particular opportunity when we're writing in space to really paint a picture. And we've worked with Toni and IMAX on some of on all of the space music. My partner Mickey Irby and I wrote the music for The Dream is Alive, Blue Planet, and Hubble 3D, and we really enjoy giving music to the fabric of space and giving some emotion to it. And one of the exciting things was to meet the astronauts and become friends with many of the astronauts, like Marsha Ivins, and finding out how it felt to be up there in space helps us to create the music.
Hello world, it's nice to meet you. I've been waiting for this moment.
Well, of course, I can't travel to space myself to direct a film. So what we do is we have a very, very good astronaut training manager, James Nyhouse, and he and I train these 3 crews how to become film directors and sound recordists and lighting cameramen, everything they need to make a film on their own when they're up on the space station. And because they're astronauts, they're really clever and they're great learners, and they did an absolutely fantastic job. Still, it's quite a challenge with that long distance between you, but that is bridged by the fact that they now can call me on their cell phones from space if they have any questions.
The astronaut in the film, Kjell Lindgren, who has Hawaiian and Swedish heritage, is actually an MD as well as an astronaut. And many astronauts have many fine qualities and education, and he played the bagpipes, the Scottish instrument, the bagpipes, in space. And Toni asked him if he would play the bagpipes and play a song because he took them up to space. We thought it was a beautiful opportunity to create music before and after that fed into his actual track that we used, and he was very happy we were able to use his actual synchronized track playing in space. And he heard it, and he was very pleased to hear that he had a musical part
All of the films that I've been associated with in space have been made in IMAX, and there is no better format to take average, the moviegoers who can't go to space, to take them and immerse them in the imagery just as though they were there. The astronauts have all said themselves that IMAX is the next best thing to being there, and it's because of the size of the picture and its clarity and sharpness. You feel that you're right there alongside them on the space station. In Hubble 3D, I took a risk and included in that film some material that was shot from tiny video cameras that were in the helmets of the people doing the spacewalks to repair the telescope. And I knew that that quality was not going to be up to IMAX standards, but still it showed you a unique view of what they were actually looking at inside the telescope as they were repairing it. And we always said in those sequences, now you're seeing through these little cameras exactly what the astronaut sees. So we included a bit of this. But normally we would never do that. We would make it all IMAX material. This was the first film that we have ever flown digital cameras to orbit for. When I suggested the film to NASA several years ago, they said, great, but we cannot any longer fly IMAX cameras, and particularly IMAX film, back and forth to space. This is because the shuttle fleet retired. The shuttle fleet was the vehicle that NASA used in principle to resupply the space station, and that whole fleet retired. So all that remains as resupply ships are the very small Soyuz Russian spacecraft, and those are used only to transport humans back and forth. There's no room for anything else. There is also a Russian Progress supply ship, which goes up and takes food and takes the trash away, but it burns. It's a disposable craft, and it burns up in the atmosphere. So you can't get material such as film back to Earth. So that is why we had to look at a digital solution, and we chose 2 digital cameras, a still camera and a video camera, and went with that, and the imagery is absolutely fantastic. It's allowed us to see things we never could capture on film because the film is too slow, the film speed. So we were able to see things in this film that we've never seen before. The aurora, for instance, lights at night on the Earth, thunderstorms, the Milky Way, stars in the sky. Never seen any of that on our previous IMAX film. In some of the images, looking out the cupola windows, you will see parts of the space station that are literally just hanging in front of the window. We can't move those pieces of equipment. Sometimes it's a Soyuz spacecraft, sometimes it's a storage vehicle. Sometimes hanging in front of the window there is an instrument that is studying something on the Earth. And of course, we're making a movie. We can't interfere with the science that's being done. So those things are just part of the image.
My partner Mickey Irby and I were very happy to be able to create an immersive 12.0 experience with this music so that everywhere you're sitting, if it's in a dome or a 3D theater, you're able to feel and hear the surrounding aspect of the music, which was created by using electronica and programming synthesizers, many tracks of those, and then adding an orchestra, which we recorded at the Glenn Gould Theatre in Toronto, and then overdubbing things like guitar and my daughter singing and my brother playing electric violin, so I keep it in the family a lot, and it was an honor to do this.
From the sky to the sea to the air.
We were thrilled to have Jennifer Lawrence as our narrator. She was great fun to work with and a wonderful talent to bring to the project. Jennifer is very passionate about the environment and in support of it.
In the end, it's about understanding how the natural world works, and then it's about expanding the possibilities of what we human beings can do.
I showed her the film before it was finished and was delighted when she liked it so much and agreed to come on board. And I think you can really feel her passion for the subject matter in her performance. It's just grand. I'm very, very happy to have worked with her. I've had a wonderful, wonderful time making this film. I'm so pleased that it is now going to run at the Ontario Science Centre here, and I invite all you people out there to come from every age, from 3 to 103. Please do come and see the movie. I think you'll really enjoy it, and I think you will learn something from it.
A beautiful planet.
For the Science Odyssey that will happen here at the Ontario Science Centre May 9th to 14th, we're going to be setting up telescopes outside so we can observe the sun. Of course, the telescope have to have a special filter to protect our eyes from the sun, but with those filters you can see the surface of the sun and observe in the surface, if it's clear day, sunspots and other features of the sun. And also, as the planet Mercury travels in front of the sun, between the Earth and the sun, we'll be able to see that dark disk of the planet Mercury going in front of the sun. So that's just one of the activities that we're going to have during Science Odyssey. Also, we have Astronomy Day. We will be opening in May an exhibition on the science of Ripley, believe it or not. What is the science behind those incredible feats? And we have, of course, our permanent exhibitions, Human Edge, showing the limits of human performance, the Western Innovation Center, where you can let your imagination run wild and discover new things. So it's a place of exploration, it's a place of discovery, it's a place of science and education. Come to the Ontario Science Centre, explore and learn.